쿨하다. 한국에서 쿨하다라고 하면 어떤 일에서 꾸물거리거나 답답하지 않고 거슬리는 것 없이 시원시원하다는 뜻으로 사용됩니다. 이미 끝난 일이나 관계 따위에 미련을 두지 않고 시원시원하게 행동하는 사람에게도 이런 말을 쓰죠. 미국에서 쿨하다는 멋짐을 뜻합니다. 어떤 사람의 행동이 가장 멋질 때 쿨하단 표현을 씁니다. 미국 펜실베니아 주립대 샘 리처드 교수는 쿨함이라고 하면 한국이 가장 먼저 생각난다고 합니다.
We're going to go so this is about defining cool, and now we're going to have a conversation about creating cool. And I want to talk about Korea because there's something happening in Korea.
그는 한국이라는 나라가 현재 세계에서 어떠한 위상을 갖고 있는지 구체적인 통계를 제시합니다. 특히 인류 역사상 찾아볼 수 없는 사례임을 강조하자 학생들도 놀라움을 감추지 못하는데요.
Today, Korea, this just came out by this guy, Ray Dalio. Korea being the sixth largest superpower in the United States. And like no country in the history of the modern world in any way has been able to do this, has moved from being such a poor country to being such a wealthy country. So when you think about Korea, like you think in mind this thing that has happened in this peninsula country that now has a population of about 50 million people, that they went from one of the poorest countries in the world to one of the wealthiest in 60 years. Here's what this is the foundation upon which, or the framework upon which we're going to talk today. U.S. culture has a very individualist-oriented moral order. It's what really drives our thinking about what is right, what is wrong, what is good, what is bad. Meaning that what is good for the individual is what is good for the culture. So the culture operates in a smooth way, in an effective way, if the individuals in that culture have an opportunity to express themselves in the ways that they want to express themselves. Okay? So this is like individualist orientation. What is right for me is what is right, but definitely in Korea. What is good for the community is what is good for the system. So when I'm acting, when I'm making a decision or I'm thinking about how to act in a certain way, I'm thinking about, wait, hang on, what does the community need? How should my actions affect other people in the community? How do other people come into play? I'm thinking about other people. Right and wrong is not just what I think is right and wrong, it's what we think is right and wrong. But now you've got this other culture that is becoming very cool, Korean cool in all these different ways. That Korea is becoming this cool place, but yet it's doing it from this communitarian orientation, from this way of like not just these individuals expressing their coolness, but people expressing their coolness collectively by looking around and seeing what other people are doing and how what they're doing fits in.
한국인들이 아무 생각 없이 자연스럽게 하는 평범한 행동들이 사회학자의 시선으로 본다면 이처럼 특별하게 해석된다는 것이 더 놀라운데요. 샘 리처드 교수는 한국의 쿨함을 만들어내는 핵심 요소 중 하나인 공동체 의식에 주목합니다. 그리고 한국의 이런 특별함을 유지하기 위해 한국의 구성원들은 어떻게 생각하고 살아가는지 그 궁금증을 해소하기 위해 세 사람을 불러냈습니다. 한국계 미국인 학생, 한국인 유학생, 그리고 펜실베니아 주립대 인력교육학과 윤영준 부교수입니다.
You have to be cool, but you have to be highly attuned to other people. So the first question is like, what's it like to live with such a strong awareness that you're highly attuned to other people?
First of all, like since like everything is like connected, so I think about what like other people think, so that I wouldn't be like an outsider in that community.
So you're always thinking about what other people are thinking. To be an insider?
Yeah, like kind of, yeah. Not to be, like considered as someone that's weird or odd,
My experience in Korea, when you're very highly attuned to other people, it sort of keeps you in check. Like there's a very high standard in the society, in the way you dress, like in the way you act in public, and all these things. There's you don't want other people to look at you badly, so you sort of act better in a way. I'm a Korean American, so I was born and raised here in America. So when I go to Korea, I feel like there's a very big sense of an insider and an outsider. As a Korean American, there's a certain level of feeling like I'm an outsider, and it's very hard to become an insider.
Do you have to like prove yourself to Koreans that you're really that you're not one of these individualistic Americans who.
Yeah. I need to definitely prove myself to Koreans that among various things, like that I could speak the language and that I share the common ideals of Koreans about community rather than just the individual. People want to conform.
Mhm.
So, sometimes I got frustrated with the conformity.
Yeah, and there's something really cool about that, by the way. Which is why, listen, when you think about everything I said about Korea, the reason Korea went from 1965 earlier, but whatever, being one of the poorest nations in the world to being one of the wealthiest is because of conform, because you work together, man. You didn't build that. Korea didn't become Korea by all these individuals doing it on their own. They did it by everybody working together in concert. Yeah, it's really fascinating. June, how about you? How would you answer the question?
I don't know, agreeing to the common direction. There's some type of consensus building is very important.
Yeah.
If you are not agreeing to that, then you may not be considered as a code. One example that I can give you is that in the past we had small restaurants, and those restaurants have a limited number of menu items. And small staff. It's maybe one owner is cooking also at the same time serving and so on. In those cases, when there are some other guests, customers, and you are with a group of, let's say, 4 people, then what happens there is that somebody in the group volunteer for all 3 others, or ask them what they want to eat, and try to come up with one menu item by considering the business and the short-staffed restaurant, and also considering their their preferences. So somebody volunteers to go for one menu item for all.
So it's not, hey, we're customers, we deserve to be waited on, like, hey, speed up, whatever. It's like, once you go into the restaurant, you're automatically thinking about the owners and the workers in the restaurant.
Right. Yeah. So
man, that is such a
that
cool
happens. That happened a lot in the past. I don't know these days.
Everywhere you go, you're just hyper aware of what's going on, and you're always aware to make things easier or better or whatever, not just for yourself but for everybody else around you.
It can be tiring at times. But sometimes because we agree that that would be a desired direction, we don't sacrifice much by giving up on my preference, for example, for food choices.
Yeah.
So I get to enjoy the food that's selected, and the owner is happy and everybody's happy. We can finish our meal quickly.
And so
there's
bali. So
Yeah.
it's fast. So but what the idea is, though, everybody's happy.
Right.
이들의 이야기를 듣던 샘 리처드 교수는 공동체를 우선하는 한국의 쿨함이 오늘날 한국을 최고의 나라로 만들었다고 확신합니다.
One difference between Korean and American culture is that in Korean culture, you want to be humble. So even if you're like good at something, you don't want to say that you're good at that. Say like you're really good at math and science, then you say I'm really good at math and science. But in Korea, you don't want to say that. You want to say I'm not really that good. But in America, it's like if you find yourself at an interview for a job, basically what you're doing is you're trying to make yourself look even better than what you actually are. So if you're good at math and science, you want to say that and you feel proud, and you want to almost like exaggerate that you're better than you actually are. And that's very different from Korea, where you want to try to be humble and you want to make yourself look smaller than you actually are.
So if you do that in Korea, right, people are going to look down on you, right? I mean, they're going to be like, wait, what's wrong with this guy?
Right. Yeah. They feel maybe if I do something I do in the U.S., they may feel that I'm arrogant. So that's something that I need to watch out for.
Always.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
same here. When I'm in Korea, man, I'm very aware that I'm not in the U.S. I downplay every single thing. Yeah, and which I do. I mean, I'm not. When I'm in the U.S., I don't whatever. I know. I mean, it's not that I boastful or anything like that. But how do you be cool in Korea, David? Like, how do you know who's cool and who's not cool?
I mean, like, people who are cool, like considered as cool in Korea, I think there are people who are being recognized by a lot of people. So like it could be like many things, like maybe like they really dress well, then they could be recognized and then like be considered as cool, or maybe they're like really smart.
Yeah, but everybody dresses well, and everybody's really smart, man. You know what I mean? So come on, like how do you then find? Are there subtle ways in which Koreans try to stand out without really showing people that they're standing out, or are you really not trying to do that? Because in this culture, the idea was like, oh come on, man, like come on, you gotta be trying to be special in some way, or not, maybe not.
Well, I think like Korean people want to try to stand out, but it's not like in the other countries. Like I think Korean people want to stand out in a certain boundary, like where it could be accepted as like not arrogant, like humble enough, or like
Okay.
uh,
So it would be. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's very difficult and complex to be stand out without, how can I say, being easily noticed. But people know who is doing very well and who should be admired and so on. But that doesn't come from that person. As you mentioned, I think it should be accepted or honored by other people.
누가 존경받을 만한지는 본인이 정하는 게 아니다라는 말에 강의실 내 폭발적인 반응이 쏟아질 만큼 최근 한국을 향한 해외의 반응이 심상치 않습니다. 한국인들이 보여주는 것은 제 마음을 울렸습니다. 이건 말도 안 되는 일이에요. 놀라운 한국, 대단한 국가. 평범한 한국인들이 보인 행동이 전 세계의 가슴을 울렸다는 소식이 전해졌습니다. 얼마 전 세계 여러 나라의 한국에 대한 기사가 대대적으로 보도된 적 있습니다. 수없이 많은 서명이 들어간 태극기 사진과 함께 보도된 내용은 모두를 놀라게 했는데요. 한국전쟁 참전 용사들의 헌신으로 지금의 발전된 한국이 있을 수 있었습니다. 90대 고령의 나이가 되어 아픈 고지만을 참전 용사분들께 한국의 의료기술로 치료 및 수술, 그리고 항공 숙박 모든 걸 지원해드리고 싶습니다. 이 기사를 보고 꼭 연락주세요. 해당 기사는 한국을 위해 싸워준 참전국 참전 용사들에게 한국의 의료기술로 치료를 해주겠다는 대대적인 후원 내용이 실려 있었습니다. 이러한 기사가 보도될 수 있었던 건 밤낮 없이 각국의 매체의 후원 내용을 광고해 줄 수 있을지 간절하게 요청한 한국인들의 노력이 있었다고 합니다. 태어나기도 전에 일어난 역사에 이렇게까지 감사를 전하고 나선 한국인들의 감동을 받아 외신들이 기사를 보도했다는 것이 알려졌는데요. 그리고 세계의 시선을 한몸에 받게 된 한국인들은 그저 한국인으로서 해야 할 일을 했을 뿐이라는 짧은 한마디를 남겨 더욱 강렬한 인상을 남겼는데요. 이 한국인들의 정체가 국내 소규모 기업의 직원들이었다는 것이 밝혀져 더욱 충격을 주었습니다. 인프레쉬, 이 기업은 작은 몸집을 가졌음에도 그 행보만큼은 여느 대기업 못지않다고 전해집니다. 전국 곳곳을 돌아다니며 참혹한 현실에 사는 국내 참전 용사들을 위해 주거 개선, 전자제품, 식비 등 다방면의 지원을 이어왔고 전 세계 참전국을 찾아다니며 의료 물품, 금전적인 지원을 진행 중에 있습니다. 이에 70년이란 시간이 지났음에도 찾아와준 한국인들, 한국인의 정체성을 보여주는 기업 등 각종 해외 언론을 통해 극찬을 받고 있는데요. 더욱 놀라운 건 모든 후원을 기업명이 아닌 한국인의 이름을 전달해 진행하고 있다는 사실입니다. 김은숙, 이혜진, 홍근표, 신지호 등 매번 해당 기업에 동참한 수많은 한국인들의 이름이 참전 용사들에게 전달되고 있으며 이 명단에는 국가대표 선수들을 비롯한 연예인들도 포함되어 있습니다. 국민 MC 유재석이 착용한 이 신발, 해당 신발은 인프레쉬가 콜라보로 출시한 후원 상품으로 심플한 디자인의 신발에 띵스투리 멤버, 한국을 위해 목숨 바쳐 싸운 참전 용사들의 로고를 문구로 각인해 많은 이들에게 잊지 말고 기억하자고 전하고 있습니다. 또한 수익금의 일부를 어려운 환경에 놓인 참전 용사에게 후원하고 있는데요. 그리고 유재석은 해당 신발을 자신의 프로그램인 유퀴즈에 착용하고 나와 간접적으로 한국전쟁 참전 용사들에게 감사를 표하기도 했습니다. 뿐만 아니라 다양한 국가대표 선수 및 연예인들이 인프레쉬의 여러 후원 상품을 통해 동참하고 있는 상황으로 현재 많은 해외 네티즌들에게 이 소식이 퍼지며 한국의 위상이 드높아지고 있습니다. 그리고 실제 참전 용사와 가족들 또한 한국에 끝없는 감사를 표하고 있는데요. 저도 감동을 주는 기업 인프레쉬의 행보에 동참했습니다. 여러분의 응원과 동참이 큰 힘이 될 것 같습니다. 많은 참여 부탁드리며 구매처는 고정 댓글에 남겨두겠습니다. 감사합니다. 여러분의 소중한 의견을 남겨주세요. 바쁘시더라도 구독과 좋아요 부탁드립니다. 시청해주셔서 감사합니다. 앞으로도 더욱 노력하여 유익하고 재밌는 콘텐츠로 찾아오겠습니다. 지금까지 단골이슈였습니다.